right, so let's break down the vote count from today's speaker vote, along with what we can expect going forward. Joe K, not in the Capitol hallways, with me here in studio.
Good
What's
to be
up,
here.
brother? You had a busy day.
Yeah.
How many cups of coffee?
I would rather not say. I'll just say we got a lot of steps in today.
We got a lot of steps in today.
Yeah,
all right, so the big news today, Mike Johnson, this is what we expected. Took just about kind of what we expected when it was all said and done. But let's look forward here, because this is the slimmest majority in the House in modern political history. So here are the numbers. You have right now 219 Republicans to 215 Democrats, if we can show that real quick. And this is the margin that Mike Johnson is going to be playing with.
Yep, and we just heard Michael Schnell talk about the two members that are going to leave soon, so actually it gets even smaller.
Yep, 217 to 215.
So what this means today, I take two things from today. Mike Johnson was able to eventually grab up enough votes to become the speaker.
Right.
That bodes, I think, well for him in that he's shown he knows how to work his people. So they're going to have a razor-thin margin that also empowers any one or two individuals to sort of get what they need here. The other thing that I think it does is, you heard Hakeem Jeffries today make that speech talking about a lot of Republican priorities. It also means Democrats might need to be relied on to provide some votes.
If we're going to talk about, I thought, of all the fascinating things today, I thought what I heard out of Hakeem Jeffries, the man in the middle there,
it was interesting.
The top Democrat, was fascinating. We're going to talk about this later in the show with the panel. New congressional members. So this is sort of the makeup of Congress right now, or at least the new members, right? Every 2 years, there's an election, the entire House, give or take a third of the Senate, depending on the year. So 75 new members in 2024. You can basically see that's kind of where things were compared to the last two election cycles. Different than 2018 and 2016, but we're talking about a dozen new in the Senate and about more than 5 dozen new in the House.
So I think what that tells you is the people who have a little bit more experience now, like the Chip Roys, the Thomas Massys, anytime you get new blood, 2 new years, the people who we know are going to be making demands, who sort of know now how to, work the system, I think are going to have a little bit of an advantage now, right? You're going to have 75 is not a small number.
Yeah, not a small.
So new people, new faces, new, climbers, if you will, on different committees, kind of fighting for influence, kind of trying to find their space. Again, what that means is the more senior members, I think, they're going to benefit from being a little more senior.
So you'll remember the quote-unquote government shutdown, or the fight that I was saying at the time. Congress wasn't going to shut down. They want to go on their Christmas break just like the rest of us wanted to. What that showed was a window into some of the challenges that Mike Johnson could have going forward with the narrow majority. And we saw a little bit of that today. Why am I talking about that? Because I want to show you the number of bills that have been passed by the recent Congress, and most recent one wasn't great. You can see this was basically the fewest number of bills in quite some time. And look at the darker number there. That's in the first year. The point is, Joe, if Republicans, and this was when Donald Trump, when Republicans had full control last time, if Republicans want to get stuff done, they're going to have to come together in the House.
Yeah, and so also what this tells me here also, when you have the trifecta, this is split government, right? When you have split government, House, one party, Senate, another party, generally, this is what happens. You get less things done. Donald Trump comes in. He says he feels like he's got a mandate. Every Republican on the Hill says they feel like they've got a mandate. And again, we go back to Jeffries. I know you're going to tackle this later. There is at least a willingness on some big things to work together. So I would expect they say it now. Let's see. Let's see. And the polling is good on border, security and things like that. So I would expect this number to go up a little bit. I don't know about substantially. We're still very small margins, but I think they should improve on their numbers.
Okay, not in the Capitol hallways, but thanks for being with us
here
on the Hill. Appreciate it. See you later.
Thank you for watching, and make sure you go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.